Navaratri is a festival dedicated to the worship of the Hindu deity Durga. The word Navaratri means 9 nights in Sanskrit, nava meaning 9 and ratri meaning nights. During these 9 nights and 10 days, 9 forms of Devi are worshipped. The 10th day is commonly referred to as Vijayadashami or Dussehra. Navaratri is an important major festival and is celebrated all over India and Nepal. Diwali, the festival of lights, is celebrated 20 days after Dussehra. Though there are in total 5 types of Navaratri that come in a year, Sharad Navaratri is the most popular one. Hence, the term Navaratri is being used for Sharad Navaratri here. Significance: the beginning of spring and the beginning of autumn are considered to be important junctions of climatic and solar influences. These two periods are taken as sacred opportunities for the worship of the Divine Mother Durga. The dates of the festival are determined according to the lunar calendar, on which each women follow tradition to wear 3 colors of dress on Navaratri. Navaratri represents a celebration of the goddess Amba. Navaratri and Navratri happens to be the most auspicious and unique period of devotional sadhanas and worship of Shakti, of the divine, conceptualized as the mother goddess Durga. A whole chapter in the 10th mandal of the Rigveda addresses the devotional sadhanas of Shakti. The Devi Sukta and Isha Sukta of the Rigveda and Ratri Sukta of the Samveda similarly sing paeans of praise of sadhanas of Shakti. In fact, before the beginning of the legendary war between the Pandavas and Kauravas in the Mahabharata, a foundational Sanskrit epic in the Hindu tradition, Lord Krishna worshipped Durga, the goddess of Shakti, for the victory of the Pandavas. Lord Brahma is cited in the Markandeya Purana as mentioning to Rishi Markandeya that the first incarnation of Shakti was as Shalpatri. Further incarnations of the Divine Mother are Brahmacharini, Chandrahanta, Kushmanda, Skandamata, Katyayani, Kalaratri, Mahogauri and Siddhadatri in that order. These 9 manifestations of Shakti are worshipped as Navadurga. The 5th chapter of the Rudra Samhita of Shiva Purana also vividly describes the various divine emanations of Durga. Since the Vedic age of the rishis, the devotional practices recommended during Navaratri are primarily those of Gayatri and Nishtharana. In the Vedic age of the Indian culture, the religious philosophy and devotional practices were focused towards true knowledge and ultimate realization of the supreme power of Gayatri. The Hindu Vedas were the basis of all streams of spirituality and science those days. Gayatri has been the source of the divine powers of the gods and goddesses in the heavens and their angelic manifestations and incarnations. Gayatri sadhana was also paramount in the higher-level spiritual endeavors of the yogas and tapasvis. Gayatri mantra was the core focus of daily practice of Sandhyavandan for everyone, as guided by the rishis. Specific sadhanas and upasanas of the Gayatri mantra were sincerely practiced during the festival period of Navaratri by every aspirant of spiritual enlightenment. This is mostly celebrated in Ashava Karthik celebrations. Navratri commences on the first day of the bright fortnight of the lunar month of Ashwin. The festival is celebrated for 9 nights once every year during the beginning of October. Although as the dates of the festival are determined according to the lunar calendar, the festival may be held for a day more or a day less. Traditions of Navaratri. Navaratri is celebrated 5 times a year. They are Vasanta Navaratri, Ashada Navaratri, the Sharad Navaratri, the Paush Magha Navaratri and the Magha Navaratri. Of these, the Sharad Navaratri of the month of Puratashi and the Vasanta Navaratri of the Vasantakala are the most important. The other 2 are observed by Shaktish only. Vasanta Navaratri. Vasanta Navaratri Its 9 days are dedicated to the 9 forms of Shakti in the month of Chaitra and is observed during the Shukla Paksha of Chaitra. The beginning of this Navaratri also marks the start of the new year as per the Hindu mythological lunar calendar. Ashad Navaratri, also referred to as Gupta-Gayatri Shakampari Navaratri, is 9 days dedicated to the 9 forms of Shakti in the month of Ashada. It is observed during the Ashada Shukla Paksha. This is mostly observed by Shaktish only. Sharad Navaratri. This is the most important of the Navaratris. It is simply called Mahara Navaratri and is celebrated in the Pratipada of the bright fortnight of the lunar month of Ashvin, also known as Sharad Navaratri, as it is celebrated during Sharad. Paush Navaratri. Paush Navaratri is observed during the Pausha Shukla Paksha, the waxing phase of moon, in the month of December to January. Magha Navaratri. The Magha Navaratri is also a kind of Gupta Navaratri. The waxing phase of moon in January to February marks the beginning of Magha Navaratri. Vasanta Navaratri. This is celebrated during Vasanta Ritu. This is also known as Chaitra Navaratri as it falls during the lunar month of Chaitra. The story of Vasanta Navaratri. In days long gone by, King Dussehra was killed by a lion when he went out hunting. Preparations were made to crown the Prince Sudarsana, but King Vijayadashami, the father of Queen Lilavati, and King Virasena of Kalinga, the father of Queen Manorama, were each desirous of securing the Kosala throne for the respective grandsons. They fought with each other. King Virasena was killed in the battle. Manorama fled to the forest with Prince Sudarsana and a eunuch. They took refuge in the hermitage of Rishi Bharadwaja. The victor, King Udajit, thereupon crowned his grandson, Satrujit, at Ayodhya, the capital of Kosala. He then went out in search of Manorama and her son. The rishi said that he would not give up those who had sought protection under him. Udajit became furious. He wanted to attack the rishi, but his minister told him about the truth of the rishi's statement. Udajit returned to his capital. Fortune smiled on Prince Sudarsana. A hermit's son came one day and called the eunuch by his Sanskrit name Kleba. The prince caught the first syllable Kla and began to pronounce it as Kleem. This syllable happened to be a powerful, sacred mantra. It is the Bijrakshara of the Divine Mother. The prince obtained peace of mind and the grace of the Divine Mother by the repeated utterance of this syllable. Devi appeared to him, blessed him and granted him divine weapons and an inexhaustible quiver. The emissaries of the king of Benares passed through the ashram of the rishi, and when they saw the noble Prince Sudarsana, they recommended him to Princess Sashikala, the daughter of the king of Benares. The ceremony at which the princess was to choose her spouse was arranged. Sashikala at once chose Sudarsana. They were duly wedded. King Udajit, who had been present at the function, began to fight with the king of Benares. Devis helped Sudarsana and his father-in-law. Udajit mocked her, upon which Devi promptly reduced Udajit and his army to ashes. Thus Sudarsana, with his wife and his father-in-law, praised Devi. She was highly pleased and ordered them to worship her with Havan and other means during the Vasanta Navaratri. Then she disappeared. Prince Sudarsana and Sashikala returned to the ashram of Rishi Bharadwaja. The great rishi blessed them and crowned Sudarsana as the king of Kosala. Sudarsana and Sashikala and the king of Benares implicitly carried out the commands of the Divine Mother and performed worship in a splendid manner. During the Vasanta Navaratri, Sudarsana's descendants Sri Rama and Lakshmana also performed worship of Devi during the Sharad Navaratri and were blessed with her assistance in the recovery of Sita Durga. According to the Kritibas Ramayana, Rama invoked the goddess Durga in his epic battle against Ravana. Although goddess Durga was traditionally worshipped in the late spring, due to contingencies of battle, Lord Rama had to invoke her in the form of Astamafavijaya in the autumn, and thus is known as a Kalbodan. This autumnal ritual was different from the conventional Durga Puja, which is usually celebrated in the springtime. So, this puja is also known as a Kalbodan, or out-of-season worship. This Rama's date for the Navaratri puja has now gained ascendancy and culminates with Dussehra in North India on the following day, Shardiya Navaratri. Shardiya Navaratri is the most popular and significant Navaratri of all Navaratris. That's why Shardiya Navaratri is also known as Mahara Navaratri. It falls in lunar month Ashwin during Sharad Ritu. The name Shardiya Navaratri has been taken from Sharad Ritu. All 9 days during Navaratri are dedicated to 9 forms of goddess Shakti. Shardiya Navaratri falls in the month of September or October. The 9 days festivity culminates on 10th day with Dussehra of Vijayadashami. Forms of Shakti. 9 forms of Shakti are worshipped during the Navaratris. The devis worshipped depend on the tradition of the region. Durga, Kali, Amba Jagadamba, Mother of the Universe. Annapurna Devi Gauri, the one who bestows grains in plenty. Sarvamangala Sheetal, the one who gives happiness to all. Bhairavi, Chandika Chandi, Lalita, Divani, Mukambika Tara. Rituals. The Sharad Navratri commences on the first day of the bright fortnight of the lunar month of Ashvin. The festival is celebrated for 9 nights once every year during the beginning of October. Although as the dates of the festival are determined according to the lunar calendar, the festival may be held for a day more or a day less. Navaratri is celebrated in different ways throughout India. In North India, all 3 Navaratris are celebrated with much fervor by fasting on all 9 days and worshipping the mother goddess in her different forms. The Chaitra Navaratri culminates in Ram Navami and the Sharad Navaratri culminates in Durga Puja and Dussehra. The Dussehra of Kullu in Himachal Pradesh is particularly famous in the north. Navaratri festival in Gujarat is one of the main festivals. Garba is a dance which people perform on all 9 nights after the Durga Puja, in groups accompanied by live orchestra devotional songs. The last 4 days of Sharad Navaratri take on a particularly dramatic form in the state of West Bengal in eastern India, where they are celebrated as Durga Puja. This is the biggest festival of the year in this state. Exquisitely crafted and decorated life-size clay idols of the goddess Durga depicting her slaying the demon Mahishasura are set up in temples and other places. These idols are then worshipped for 5 days and immersed in the river on the 5th day. In the Punjab, Navaratri is known as Navratri and Navratri, where the first 7 days are for fasting. On the 8th day or Ashtami, devotees break their fasts by calling young girls home, and these girls are treated as the goddess herself. They are called Kanjak Devis. People ceremonially wash the feet, worship them, and then offer food to the girl goddesses, giving them the traditional puri, halwa and chana to eat along with bangles and the red chunis to wear with a token amount of money as shagun. The 9th day is then called Navami, which means literally the 9th day of this holy and pious period. Another prevalent practice is of sowing pulses, cereals and other seeds on the first day of this festival in a pot which is watered for 9 days, at the end of which the seeds sprout. This pot is worshipped throughout the 9 days. This custom is also indicative of fertility worship and is known as Katri. The barley grains planted on the first day of Navaratris in the puja room of the house were submerged in water after saying prayers on Dussehra. The sowing and reaping of barley is symbolic of the first fruit. In western India, particularly in the state of Gujarat and Mumbai, Navaratri is celebrated with the famous Garba and Dandiya's dance. Since the past few years, the government of Gujarat has been organizing the Navaratri festival celebrations on a regular basis for the 9 days of Navaratri festival in Gujarat. People from all over Gujarat and even abroad come to participate in the 9-day celebration. It is also popular throughout India and among Indian communities around the world, including the UK, Canada, Malaysia, Singapore and USA. In the temples of Goa, on the first day of the 7th month of the Hindu calendar Ashwin, in some temples, a copper pitcher is installed surrounded by clay in which 9 varieties of food grains are sown inside the sanctum sanctorum of the temple. All the 9 nights are celebrated by presenting devotional songs and through religious discourses. Later in the night, the idol of the goddess is put in a specially decorated colorful swing, and for 9 nights, this swing is being swung to the tune of temple music by devotees who throng in large numbers to participate in the festival. In Maharashtra, on the first day of month of Ashwin, Dussehra is celebrated. An earthen pot is filled with water surrounded by clay in which food grains are sown and are allowed to sprout for 9 days. 5 stems of jowar are also placed over the pot. This arrangement is called the ghat. The ladies worship the pot for 9 days by offering rituals and a garland of flowers, leaves, fruits, dry fruits, etc. with an naivedya, and water is offered in order to get the seeds sprouted. Some families also celebrate Kali Pujan on days 1 and 2, Lakshmi Pujan on days 3, 4, 5, and Saraswati Pujan on days 6, 7, 8, 9 along with Dussehra. On the 8th day, a yajna or hom is performed in the name of goddess Durga. On 9th day, the ghat pujan is done and the ghat is dissolved after taking off the sprouted leaves of the grains. In many families, a woman from Matang community is called and offered food and blessings are sought from her. She is considered as a form of the goddess Matangi. This process is called in Marathi. On the occasion of Dussehra of Vijayadashami, the men go to the forest to farm and bring the leaves of the tree Apta. They worship iron in the form of utensils, weapons, etc. The iron equipments are washed and offered leaves of Apta called gold or sona, and also leaves of the grains which were sprouted. On this day, a process called Vijayaramvan, meaning beginning of learning, takes place when small children are to write first alphabet. In Tamil Nadu, people set up steps and place idols on them. This is known as Golu. Photos of typical Golu displayed in Tamil Nadu style can be found here. In the evening, women in neighborhood invite each other to visit the homes to view Golu displays. They exchange gifts and sweets. Kutha Vilaku lamp is lit in the middle of a decorated rangoli. Devotional hymns and shlokas are chanted. After performing the puja, the food items that have been prepared are offered to the goddess and then to the guests. On the 9th day, Saraswati Puja. Special pujas are offered to goddess Saraswati, the divine source of wisdom and enlightenment. Books and musical instruments are placed in the puja and worshipped as a source of knowledge. Ayudha Puja. The worship of vehicles and instruments is the most important festival celebrated in Tamil Nadu on Navami Day. Almost all mechanic shops, heavy industries celebrate Ayudha Puja to thank their instruments. On this day, one can see autos decorated with banana leaves and pumpkins broken. The 10th day, Vijayadashami, is the most auspicious day of all. It was the day on which evil was finally destroyed by good. It marks a new and prosperous beginning. New ventures started on this day are believed to flourish and bring prosperity. Kids often start tutoring on this day to have a head start in their education. In the evening of Vijayadashami, any one doll from the kolu is symbolically put to sleep and the kalasa is moved a bit towards north to mark the end of that year's Navaratri. Kolu prayers are offered to thank God for the successful completion of that year's kolu and with a hope of a successful one the next year. Then the kolu is dismantled and packed up for the next year. In temples of Tamil Nadu, Navaratri is celebrated for the Devis dwelling in each temples. The Utsava Murthy is decorated and Vedic offerings are performed, following by Chandi Homa. Popular Tamil Nadu temples celebrating Navaratri are Madurai Meenakshi Temple, Chennai Kapaleswara Temple, Kulasekharapattinam Devi Temple, Paramba Eliamman Temple, Sri Rangam Ranganathan Temple. In Karnataka, Ayudha Puja, the 9th day of Mysore Dussehra, is celebrated with the worship of implements used in daily life such as computers, books, vehicles, or kitchen tools. The effort to see the divine in the tools and objects one uses in daily life is central to this celebration, so it includes all tools that help one earn one's livelihood. Knowledge workers go for books, pen or computers. Farmers go for the plow and other agricultural tools. Machinery for industrialists and cars, buses, trucks for the transportation workers. All are decorated with flowers and worshipped on this day, invoking God's blessing for success in coming years. It is believed that any new venture such as starting of business or purchasing of new household items on this day is bound to bring success and prosperity. Mysore is well known for the festivities that take place during the period of Dussehra, the state festival of Karnataka. The Dussehra festivities, which are celebrated over a 10-day period, it made official festival of the state by King Raja Wodaya I in 1610. On the 9th day of Dussehra, called Mahanavami, the royal sword is worshipped and is taken on a procession of decorated elephants, camels and horses. On the 10th day, called Vijayadashami, the traditional Dussehra procession is held on the streets of Mysore. An image of the goddess Chamundeshwari is placed on a golden howdah on the back of a decorated elephant and taken on a procession, accompanied by tableaus, dance groups, music bands, decorated elephants, horses and camels. The procession starts from the Mysore Palace and culminates at a place called Banamantapa, where the Bani tree is worshipped. The Dussehra festivities culminate on the night of Vijayadashami with a torchlight parade, known locally as Panjina Kaviyathu, in Kerala and in some parts of Karnataka 3 days. Ashtami, Navami, and Vijayadashami of Sharad Navaratri are celebrated as Sarasvati Puja, in which books are worshipped. The books are placed for puja on the Ashtami day in own houses, traditional nursery schools, or in temples. On Vijayadashami day, the books are ceremoniously taken out for reading and writing after worshipping Sarasvati. Vijayadashami day is considered auspicious for initiating the children into writing and reading, which is called Vijayarambham. Tens of thousands of children are initiated into the world of letters on this day in Kerala. In Telangana region of Andhra Pradesh, people celebrate Bathukama festival over a period of 9 days. It is a kind of Navaratri celebration. Here Navaratri is divided into sets of 3 days to adore 3 different aspects of the supreme goddess or goddesses. First 3 days, the goddess is separated as spiritual force called Durga, also known as Kali, in order to destroy all our evil and grant boons. Second 3 days, the mother is adored as a giver of spiritual wealth, Lakshmi, who is considered to have the power of bestowing on her devotees inexhaustible wealth, as she is the goddess of wealth. last 3 days. The final set of 3 days is spent in worshipping the goddess of wisdom, Saraswati. In order to have all-round success in life, believers seek the blessings of all 3 aspects of the divine femininity, hence the 9 nights of worship. 8th day is traditionally Durgashtami, which is big in Bengal and Bihar. In some parts of South India, Saraswati Puja is performed on the 9th day. Ayudha Puja is conducted in many parts of South India on the Mahanavami day with much fanfare. Weapons, agricultural implements, all kinds of tools, equipments, machinery and automobiles are decorated and worshipped on this day along with the worship of Goddess. The work starts afresh from the next day, i.e. the 10th day, which is celebrated as Vijayadashami. Many teachers' schools in South India start teaching kindergarten children from the day onwards. In North India, as the culmination of the Ram Leela, which is enacted ceremoniously during Dussehra, the effigies of Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Meghanada are burned to celebrate the victory of good over evil forces on the Vijayadashami day. During Navaratri, some devotees of Durga observe a fast and prayers are offered for the protection of health and prosperity. Devotees avoid meat, alcoholic drinks, grains, wheat and onion during this fast. Grains are usually avoided since it is believed that during the period of Navaratri and seasonal change, grains attract and absorb lots of negative energies from the surrounding, and therefore there is a need to avoid eating anything which are produced from grains for the purification of Navaratri to be successful. Navaratri is also a period of introspection and purification, and is traditionally an auspicious and religious time for starting new ventures. During this vowed religious observance, a pot is installed at a sanctified place at home. A lamp is kept lit in the pot for 9 days. The pot symbolizes the universe. The uninterrupted lit lamp is the medium through which we worship the effulgent Adishakti, i.e. Durga.The. During Navaratri, the principle of Durga.The is more active in the atmosphere. Navaratri is celebrated in a large number of Indian communities. The mother goddess is said to appear in 9 forms, and each one is worshipped for a day. These 9 forms signify various traits that the goddess influences us with. The Devi Mahatmya and other texts invoking the goddess who vanquished demons are cited. During the 8th and 9th day, Kanya Puja, prepubescent girls are ceremonially worshipped. Animal sacrifice. Animals are sacrificed during Sharad Navratri in many parts of India, mainly at temples of goddesses such as Bhavani or Kali. A book published 1871 by Pratapachandra Ghosh gives full description of the rituals involved in animal sacrifice during Durga Puja. The Rajput of Rajasthan offer a sacrifice of buffalo or goat to the family goddess during the festival of Navaratri. The ritual requires slaying of the animal with a single stroke. In the past, this ritual was considered a rite of passage for young men. The ritual is directed by a Brahmin priest. Many erstwhile royal families from different parts India also offer animal sacrifice to the goddess during Sharad Navratri. Animal sacrifice is practiced in some eastern states of India and Nepal during Navaratri. The Hindu temples in Assam and West Bengal in India and Nepal where this takes place involves slaying of goats, chickens and sometimes male water buffaloes. A number Tantric Puranas specify the ritual for how the animal should be slain. In Bengal, a priest recites the Gayatri mantra in the ear of animal to be sacrificed, in order to free the animal from the cycle of life and death. In Orissa, animal sacrifice is offered to Durga in the form of Chandi during Durga Puja. At the Jagannath temple in Puri, Orissa, rams are sacrificed to the goddess Bimla during the 8th and 9th day of the autumn festival.